Welcome back to Yoki's Kitchen. Today we're gonna have us a seafood boil macaroni and cheese, and let me show you how to do it. So what you're gonna need is obviously your andouille sausage or sausage of your choice. This is just a blueprint, I tell you that all the time. So what we have here is andouille sausage, we have some crawfish, we have some white shrimp, as well as some lobster. Now this is about probably about a half a pound of each. I did say 2 pounds of crawfish, and that's all I got out of that. So if you want more crawfish, just make sure you make up for the weight. You're also gonna need your, we have everything besides the actual celery. So we have onions, this is a quarter onion, a quarter red pepper, quarter yellow pepper, quarter green pepper, and we have 4 cloves of garlic, and we have our cheeses. So we have some pepper jack cheese, sharp cheddar, mild cheddar, and we have Gouda, Fontina, and mozzarella. Yes, it's a lot of cheese, but it's going to be really, really good. And of course, your seasonings. Now, for your cheese sauce, you're gonna need some heavy whipping cream. You're gonna need some whole milk. And this is for your noodles. You're gonna need this is the secret ingredient, cream of shrimp. This is going to take this to a whole nother level. So you're gonna need your cream of shrimp. You're gonna need noodles, obviously. Now, how is the boil gonna take place in this macaroni and cheese? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a crab boil or a seafood boil bath to boil our noodles. And you are going to use some seafood stock to actually get that started. So we're gonna cut it with probably equal amounts of water with the seafood stock, and we are going to add our crab boil seasonings. I forgot to mention, obviously, crab. This is for it. And then we're gonna create the crab boil flavor in the noodle water so that we can get that, you understand what I'm saying, that crab boil going. And what you're gonna need for that is some garlic powder, some onion powder, some black pepper, some red pepper flakes, your choice, depending on how spicy you want to make that. You can add some red pepper flakes. Remember, we do have pepper jack cheese. So if you're kind of not interested in making it spicy, just make sure you gauge what it is that you're doing. You're going to need some salt, some Old Bay. You're going to need some sage, oregano, paprika. This is smoked paprika. You can choose regular paprika if you'd like. You're also going to need some accent and a Creole seasoning of your choice. We are using Tony's Saturates. Now, if you want to add anything else, you're more than welcome. I was trying to figure out how can I put an egg in here, but it just was not making any sense to me. But if you can figure it out, please let me know. So now that you know what it is that we're doing and what it is that you need, let's head to the stove so we can get started. So I have some water already in here. Just gauge it based off of your pound of noodles or however much you are making. So the seafood stock, this is 32 ounces. I am going to add this in here with the water that's already in here. Okay, now you're gonna season this to your liking. We are going to put some onion powder. Probably need to take that off. Some onion powder. Remember, we are seasoning these noodles. Don't nobody want no bland noodles. Garlic powder. Some black pepper. Sage. And try to do this before the water starts boiling, because as soon as that steam starts to rise, you're gonna have a hard time getting these seasonings out of these containers. Some smoked paprika. It's gonna give it that beautiful color. Some oregano. already smelling like a boil. We are going to go in with our Old Bay. And you can, of course, taste it to make sure that it's to your liking. We are going to go in with some Creole seasoning. Just a hit of accent. Oof. Just a few red pepper flakes, not too much because I'm going to add some to the actual sauce. And last but not least, just a little bit of salt, and we will gauge that probably about a palm full, like so. Now we are going to give this a second to boil. Let those flavors start getting together before we add our noodles. Now while we wait for our water to, get all those seasonings all blended in nicely, we're going to start with our seafood for the macaroni and cheese. So I am going to fry up the sausage first. This is some unsalted butter. We are just going to put that into the pan and brown our andouille sausage. Melt just a little bit so we can collect all them flavors out of that. Now I'm going to draw the flavors out of the sausage first before I actually start cooking the rest of the seafood. Turn this up just a little bit. And just add in that sausage. Now I don't want to cause too much browning because the same pan that I am cooking this in is where I'm going to create my cheese sauce. So I don't want too much browning of anything, but you would just want to make sure that everything is cooked nicely. Come on. All right. So let's brown this up. Let's draw out these flavors, and then we will go in with the crawfish. Now the crawfish is already cooked, so we pretty much they were whole. They were not already clean, so I did have to clean them, take the vein out and all that good stuff. To accomplish this so-called 2 pounds of crawfish. Okay, so let's get this cooked up. Add our crawfish for that extra seasoning, and then we're going to go in with the lobster and the shrimp, and then we're going to do the same thing over again as we did with our crab boil. Our crab boil seasoning, I will walk you through that and get those flavors started for our cheese sauce. This was just smoking hot. I'm gonna add my crawfish to this now. Let that actually get warmed up. And while we're waiting on that sausage to finish, I am going to season my lobster and my shrimp while we wait on this to get itself together. Okay, so let's step right over here. Let's put that on medium, and let's start seasoning our seafood. So here I have 2 lobster tails that have been chopped up, not too fine, but in like bite-sized pieces. And I also have some white shrimp that has also been chopped up into bite-sized pieces. And I am just going to season this up with some Tony Saturates. We're gonna go in with some garlic powder. Now this is also going to help our cheese sauce. So everything that you see here is going to be included in that cheese sauce. Some black pepper. Some onion powder. Trying to keep my hand clean. Onion powder. We're going to go in with a little bit of sage. Some paprika. I'm not going to put the oregano on there because I do not want that to burn. Some accent. And we are just going to give this a nice little mix. Oh, I lost 2 pieces. Okay, and we're just going to let this sit. Now, mind you, remember, as I tell you all the time, you want to let anything that you're cooking come to at least room temperature so that it does not become tough or hard, or, you know, when you're actually cooking it, because when the temperatures change, the actual meat or whatever it is that you're cooking actually gets shocked. So we're going to set this aside. Get these 2 pieces out of the way. And we're going to come back to our crawfish and sausage. Okay, that looks just right. And I am going to take this out. We're just setting the stuff aside because we're building flavors at this point. So the actual, say, grease that was rendered from the sausage as well from that butter is also going to play a factor in that lobster and shrimp combination that we just seasoned. And let's get all of that out. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so good. Okay. So now that we have all of that out, we're gonna set this aside. We're going to come back with our seafood. We're going to drop in probably another tablespoon of butter just to get things going again. Set that right there. Oh, that looks good. That is nice. It's a nice roaring bowl in there, as you can see. All those seafood boil flavors going on. Okay, so now that we have our crawfish and andouille sausage out, we are going to go in with our lobster and our shrimp. And we are just going to cook this down. We are not cooking this all of the way because remember, you are going to bake this macaroni and cheese and you do not want to overcook anything. You just want everything to be just right. So as soon as the colors start to change, I am going to take this out. We'll actually turn it on the other side and then take it out. As you see, the shrimp is actually starting to turn that cooked shrimp look. Geez, I lost another one. See how it's starting to turn white? So that's how I know we're getting somewhere here. So I'm just going to let this go for another minute or two on the other side, and then we're going to take it out. And we are ready to come out. So I am going to take these out, join that with our crawfish and sausage. And we are going to get ready to cook our vegetables. You're probably saying, well, Yoke, why haven't you put the noodles on yet? I haven't put the noodles on yet because the noodles are only going to take maybe, as a matter of fact, please read the directions on your noodle boxes to get the right cooking time on those noodles. But I know by the time I get started with my sauce, my noodles will be ready. Okay, so we are going to set this aside now, and we are going to go in with our vegetables. Now, to the same frying pan, I am going to add another tablespoon, or maybe less because there's some already in here, some goodness already in here, of butter. Let's get this going. And then I am going to add our veggies to that. We are going to do the bell pepper and onion first, and then we will add the garlic last. Garlic tends to burn a little faster or cook a little faster, and we don't want that to burn because we don't want it to be bitter. So what we have here is yellow pepper, red pepper, green pepper, an onion, and some garlic. Add that in. Now this we are going to cook down until everything is almost translucent. Okay, we're looking for flavors, the taste of it, not so much as the look or the colors. We're not looking for the colors, we're looking for the flavors. So we're gonna cook this down almost to pretty much nothing. Just keep sweating it out until it's nice and not so much of a mushy consistency, but a more of a, what am I looking for? Just, you don't want to taste it, or you don't want to see it, if it makes sense. We're just going to cook it down to nothing. That's what I want to say. We're going to cook it down to nothing. So we're going to let this go, and I am going to show you how that's going to look, or what we are expecting it to look like. Probably about 3-4 minutes in, I did add that garlic, and this is how we're looking. So at this point, I know I'm going to get ready to get started on my cheese sauce. So I am going to add my 1 pound, you can use whatever style noodle you like, but this is corkscrew noodles, to my boiling water. It smells just like a crab boil. Okay, so we're going to add our 1 pound, and we are going to let this go for full box 8 to 9 minutes. I did not add any oil to this. I usually do. What is the myth behind oil in noodles? Let me know. Let's talk about that. We're going to cover this up and start tending to our veggies here. So now that we have the consistency of the vegetables that we are looking for, we are going to start adding our whole milk. You can use, I can't say whatever milk you want because I don't know how almond milk or coconut milk will do in here. We're going to use our milk. That was probably about 2 cups. And we are going to do equal parts in heavy cream. Now, depending on how much cheese we are going with is going to determine, or how thick the consistency is going to determine whether I am going to add more or not. So we're going to do about the same amount for the heavy whipping cream. And give this a stir. And combine, what is going on? And combine all of those veggies that we chopped up very nice and fine. You see how small they are? Very, very nice and fine. Let me get something to wipe that up, because to this I am going to, now mind you, we are going, let's turn this down just a little bit, because we do not need this to get too hot too quickly, but I need it to be hot enough to start melting that cheese once we add that cheese. That is a big piece of onion, and I don't want that in there. Y'all know this is Yoki Kitchen, not the perfect kitchen, right? All right, as long as we have that understanding. All right, so I am going to add to this heavy cream and milk mixture the cream of shrimp. And I'm going to reduce this into our mixture. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, has just taken your macaroni and cheese to a whole nother level. And we have also since started preheating the oven to 350 degrees so that when we are ready, we don't have to wait. Okay, now I'm gonna let this catch up, and then we are gonna taste and start seasoning. Then onion, green peppers, red pepper, yellow pepper, and onion, as well as garlic. That is all that's in here. And this is the base to our cheese sauce. But before we start adding our cheese, we are going to season this to become that crab boil flavor. So I am gonna go in with some Tony Saturates. Now we're not gonna do too much or over seasoning, because remember our seafood already has been seasoned as well. We're gonna go in with a little bit of sage, just a hit of paprika. Now that's what we want. We want that color that the crab boil has. So that pinky reddish-y color, a little bit of accent. We are gonna go in with a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, what I have left of black pepper, now I am going to add just a few flakes of the red pepper flakes. I'm going to hit it with just a little bit of Old Bay. Just a hit. And we are going to give this a stir. Okay, now look at all those flavors we're working with. Just get that nicely incorporated, and we are going to start adding in our cheese. Our sauce is coming along nicely. Our 9 minutes are up. I have since drained our noodles. I have not added any cheese to that as of yet, but in this is the original boiling pot, because I need something to work with. When I get ready to mix this in there, I need to have some leverage on my pot. All right, now, as you can see, I did not rinse my noodles because I want that flavor to stay on those noodles. But I did take them out of the water, and I kind of separated them so that they, to kill the cooking time. To stop it from cooking. All right, so now I'm gonna add about a cup of sour cream to my noodles. I did not add any butter to the noodles because we have enough butter going on with our sauce. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit and be happy while we get our cheese sauce going. Now that is going to stick all of that seasoning that was on those noodles is going to stick with that sour cream. So that is how that wants to look, just like so. Now, heading back over here, as you can see, our consistency is nice and, it's not thick, but it has thickened up versus the the looseness as it was before. Now we do have this on this is medium low heat. And now I am going to start adding my cheese. You should have since tasted this. Make sure that you have the flavors that you're looking for. Make any adjustments. You do that now. Okay, now we are going to go in with the more important cheeses, which is the Fontella cheese, the Gouda cheese, and the mozzarella cheese. Fontella cheese is a very, very creamy cheese. To me, it makes macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is not macaroni and cheese without Fontella. So I'm going to add just my 8 ounces of Fontella, and I am going to sift that, and then we are going to gradually add in the rest of the cheeses. Oh, man, it's been a wreck in this kitchen. All right, so whisk that in nicely. As you can see, the sauce is hot, but it's not boiling hot. Okay. Just keep whisking that nicely. As you can see, that was just 8 ounces of cheese and we're already pulling. All right, so my mozzarella, I'm not going to add all 8 ounces because I am going to need some cheese to put over the top. So I'm going to go half Gouda, half mozzarella, and we're going to keep the rest of that to put on top of our macaroni and cheese. Let's whisk this in. Now, depending on how cheesy you like your macaroni and cheese will determine how much actual milk and heavy cream you use. All right. Just keep whisking. As you see, it has that pinky color. That is the color that we were looking for. Look at that. All right, so now we're gonna go in with the pepper jack cheese pool. Whoa. All right, let's go in with some pepper jack. Also gonna save some of that for the top. Go in with some that is sharp cheddar and mild cheddar. And we are going to save the rest for the top of that. And again, keep stirring until everything is nicely incorporated. No lumps, just nice and smooth. All right, our cheese sauce is all come together. Very, very cheesy. And I am now going to add my cheese sauce to my noodles. Let's see how many hands it's going to take to do this. Just one, just two, just mine. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here so that we can see. In this pot, we have our noodles with that have been coated with our sour cream. As you can see, I'm going to get my spatula. Let's turn this off. Let's give this a stir. And now I am going to add my cheese sauce. I do, but I don't want to ladle it in. So since it's just me one, I am going to pour that in slowly like so. Give it a stir. As such. Add some more. Give it a stir. You kind of want to gauge it because you possibly could have made more cheese sauce than what you actually needed. So you just want to watch and gauge and see how much you want to actually add. But as you can see, the cheese is very nicely melted. The consistency is still cheesy, but it's loose. It's not very like the cheese is melted very well. All right, we're gonna keep some of that. Stir this up like so. By this time, you should have already tasted 2, 3, 4, 5 times to make sure everything is perfect. And as I was telling you with the vegetables, you see that they're there, but they're so translucent and so small, they're not really going to be a big factor in what it is that you are doing or what you're tasting. So now that everything is nicely incorporated, I am adding my lump crab meat. Now, why did you wait so late to add this in? Because I do not want to mess up or break the crab meat down too much and lose the texture of that crab meat. Crab meat is just like fish and shrimp and everything else. It does not take much to season it, and it can get salty very, very quickly. So I am just going to take the seasoning from that's already in here with our andouille sausage, our crawfish, our shrimp, and our lobster. And we are just going to use that to kind of fold that in the crab meat and get that seasoning off of there. Now I am going to use 2 of these because this is a whole meal in itself. You don't need nothing else after eating this macaroni and cheese. The second one, do the same. We're just going to fold that in like so. Just fold it. All right, so now that we have everything incorporated, I am going to add just half of my mixture into my macaroni and cheese. And then the other half, we will just use that to build because I want every bite to have something in it. Something, or at least some of everything for sure. Okay. So I am going to add back our seafood mixture. And I'm going to keep that. Now that's about half. And we are going to just fold that in. Now, the reason why I did not put all of that cheese sauce in there, as you can see, that has dried up quite a bit since we've added that crab meat. And we need it to be nice and cheesy and moist. So I am I'm going to add just a little bit more of our cheese sauce. I did keep it on low heat. Like so. Get that all folded in nicely, and this is what you should be looking like at this point. So here I have a 12 by 9 dish. There's no need to add any butter or anything on the bottom of this dish. You have more than enough going on in the macaroni and cheese to make sure that it does not stick. Now I am going to add in, is this hot? Not really. I am going to put down a layer of our mac and cheese, like so. Just smoothing it out nice and evenly, because you're going to go back in with another layer of that macaroni and cheese once you get your seafood in there. So I am just going to sprinkle some of this in here, like so. And you're just going to build that mac and cheese so that every spoonful has this delicious seafood in it, like so. A lot of crab, a lot of shrimp, lobster. Now if you want, you can add cheese in the middle. I'm not going to add cheese in the middle. I just feel like there's enough cheese and I don't want it to be stalling, just too much overdone with the cheese, because we have a lot of cheese to put on top. All right, so I am going to then seal the deal with some extra mac and cheese right on top. Now be sure that you put a baking sheet underneath it, because you will have to clean your oven. That cheese is going to spill over and you're not going to be happy about it. And just continue like so. I have some left over, but I can put that in a smaller dish. All right, so we are going to, again, distribute everything nice and evenly. And this is how we should look at this point before we add our cheese. Now we're gonna go in and add our cheese. We have, the only thing that's not left on here, it's probably just gonna be just a little bit of it, is the Fontella cheese. But we do have the sharp cheddar, the cheddar cheese, pepper jack in this plate. And then we have, let me get that other plate in 1 second. And then in this plate, we have some Gouda and mozzarella and just a little bit of Fontella left. And you are just going to distribute that nicely. Your oven should already be preheated at 350 degrees. And I will show you. What we are going to do too is we're going to cover this up for about the first 30 minutes, and then the last maybe 10, 15 minutes, if that long, depending on how hot your oven gets. That will be something that you would have to determine. And you will take the foil paper off and then let that brown to your liking. And we got cheese for days, so if you want to keep adding cheese, you're more than welcome to, but I am going to stop. Just Trying to even out some color here. All right. Color looks good. Now I'm gonna put the foil paper on here and we are gonna put it into the oven for 30 minutes. This is how we look. Very nice. And here is the final product. Y'all, if this don't weigh 10 pounds, it don't weigh none. Solid. And it looks so, y'all hear that little crunch? Ooh. Let's see what we are working with here. Cheese pull, official. And let's get a scoop. And there it is. Oh my goodness. I need it all. Give me all of that. Oh my gosh. Look at here. Ladies and gentlemen, I know when we first started this, you were like, how are we incorporating a seafood boil with macaroni and cheese? This is exactly how we've done it. We have andouille sausage, we have crawfish, we have shrimp, we have lobster, crawfish, shrimp, lobster, and crab. Is that everything? Crawfish, shrimp, lobster, crab. We have, a ton of different cheeses. We have corkscrew noodles, and we boiled and seasoned our noodles, and we seasoned our seafood in a seafood boil medley. So that is how we accomplished this. Now, let me tell you, y'all don't know how bad I wanted to figure out a way to add an egg in here, because egg is also the staple of a seafood boil, but I just couldn't figure it out. But when I do, we will definitely try it again. So let's get us a bite, a little bit of everything. My mouth is watering. And this is so hot, and this is how I always end up burning my mouth. And don't fall. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, that is official. Gotta blow. Get a take? Man, that is good. Look at the sausage, look at the crawfish, the green pepper, yellow pepper, the noodles, the sausage, and just all that yummy cheese. Look at that. She is piping. One more bite, one more bite. Y'all, listen. This is definitely a must try. If you try it, let me know. Drop it in the comments if you would have seen or wanted to see something a little different. Also drop it in the comments. I'm very interested to know. Yoke gang. This seafood boil macaroni and cheese is definitely what needs to be on your dinner table. I mean, like tomorrow. With that being said, Yoke gang, listen. If you have not yet checked out www.yokegang.com, make sure that you do pick up a t-shirt or a patch, support the channel. This is how I make things like this happen. So with that being said, y'all already know my oven works and I love it when things work, but I love y'all for life.